and welcome to the Body Harmony International Guild Conversations. Today we have Sabine, who will be interviewing our Body Harmony teacher, Barbara Tira. We're very excited to hear about Barbara's journey and what she has to tell us about where she is at today. A few of the little rules: I have everybody muted. If you happen to have any questions, you're more than welcome to put it down in the chat line or in the chat room area. But just to let you know that all questions will be answered at the end of the video rather than during the middle of it. And also, you have the option to mute and unmute yourself, but we ask you to keep yourself muted at this time in case if you do have background noise or anything. And you also have the option to block yourself from the video. Also, afterwards, this video will be going on YouTube. So just to let you know, it will be on YouTube. If you don't want anybody to see you, you might want to block yourself and hide your name or something as well. In the meantime, I will hand this over to Sabine and let Sabine start.
Okay. Hello, and hello, Barbara. I'm very happy to hear about you today and about your background of body harmony. Would you like to tell us a little bit about it, how you came to body harmony? Barbara?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, well, in thinking back about how body harmony came into my life and what attracted me to it, I started going even farther back and realized that ever since I was a little child, I was always attracted to energy and touch. I grew up in a very Catholic home, and I was at church singing Hungarian hymns before I even probably spoke English. I don't remember that time, but it was before I could even remember. And I was always attracted to going to church. I think it was the energy in the church, which I didn't realize at the time. But as I'm older now, I see that it was probably just the energy of the songs and the angels and just that energy that was created in the church. So since a very early age, I would have like experiences with angels and with energy, and I didn't know it was energy at the time. I remember when I was 3, I was taken to a children's hospital and had all these buttons put on my head because I was getting stomach pains, and I just realized it was electricity, they told me. And I thought something was wrong with me. And at the same time, I was having dreams and nightmares and things like that, which after the age of 6, I've kind of forgotten all about. And fast forward till I was in college. So this was in the late 60s, and I had a boyfriend who was from a very small town in Ohio. I was going to school at Ohio State. And he took me home once to meet his parents in this tiny farm town. And it turned out his father was a chiropractor. And he asked me if I've ever been to a chiropractor. I said no. So he offered me a chiropractic experience in his little home office. And when I laid on the table and he put his hands on me and started working on me, it was incredible. And he was blind. And I thought, how does this blind man know what to do to my body and where to touch me to make it feel good? And I was pretty much blown away. I could not get over it, especially the fact that he was blind, and his touch was so developed and precise and wonderful. So that was my first hands-on body experience. and then I remembered back. I don't know, have any of you had the wonderful experience when you were a kid where you were going to sleep and your parent or brother or sister or grandparent was massaging your head or rubbing your back? So I remember when I was 12, I lived at my grandmother's. I slept at my grandmother's house because there was no room upstairs for us anymore. There were two other siblings. And when I'd go to sleep, she'd just rub my back. And the touch was just so wonderful. So I've always been in tune with the energy and the touch. And so for me, it was an unfolding of life that led me to the energy and the touch of body harmony.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's, let's see. Yeah.
So you found you experienced that touch is something very special in your life.
Mhm.
And then how did you come across body harmony?
Well, I moved to Arizona in the early 70s, and that's when I first discovered body work. A friend came to our house with his table, and he said, he offered us he was practicing some free treatments. And that was how I discovered Dr. Robert Bright, who was a chiropractor and an energy worker. So this was in about 1973. I started taking classes with touch and energy. So that was my first like kind of class experience. And after that, when I moved to Los Angeles, I started working in a psychiatric hospital because I was studying psychology. And I was thinking I was going to be a psychotherapist, but anyway, that it was always lacking something for me. It was lacking dimensions, and at the time, they didn't have courses like they do now, combining the energy and the psychology and the other aspects like of ancestral healing and other modalities of healing, like with family constellation work that I also practice. So anyway, I was just studying psychology. I worked at a psych hospital, and I met a nurse, Erica Kletzen, who is also a body harmony practitioner now. And she did Feldenkrais work. And so she was practicing to get her certification, and I was going to her like once a week for sessions. Then she said, I went to this man, his name was Don McFarland, and when this man put his hands on you, I thought I died and went to heaven. And I said, oh my God, I want that. She said, his body work is just out of this world. And I said, well, I want that experience. I definitely want to feel that. So I booked a session with Don. And Erica told me, he said you need 10 sessions. So I'm in my first session with Don. I say, well, how many times do you think I need to come back? I mean, it's like, do I have to come 10 times? And he said, well, yeah, 10 is good. And needless to say, I never stopped. I mean, I just, from the late 90s, I guess, is when I found Don. I never stopped until he stopped.
Wow. And is there a difference, or how differ body harmony from the other modalities you have learned?
Well, I also got certified in cranial sacral work. And what I found with body harmony, it's, how should I say, more inclusive and more expansive, and it never stops. There's never a set system that is being imposed on the body. I mean, I started with the acupressure massage with Dr. Bright in Arizona, and it was good. We did a lot with energy, but it was too imposing. Cranial sacral was lighter, and I liked the touch, but it was still more of a contained system for me. Then I think maybe now they've expanded it a bit in some of the other study groups I've been to. But still, body harmony for me was always so open and so inclusive and welcoming to other modalities and other life experiences that can be brought into the work. So for me, it's like It's not a closed system. It's
Oh,
it's
yeah.
everything I've learned and more that I have learned and that I haven't learned yet. So I'm excited to see where else this journey is going to take me.
Yes. And then could you give us an example of what you experienced in one special body harmony session?
Mm,
In that?
yeah. Well, you know, there were so many, but one of my first experiences that pretty much shocked me because I didn't know what to expect with this man who when I touch me goes to heaven. I go to heaven. Maybe he does too. Probably there now, wherever that is. Uh, but yeah, I think it was it was my first or second session with him, and he put his hand somewhere around my chest and my liver area. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I start crying. I'm bawling and the tears are rolling out of my eyes. And I'm wondering what the hell happened to me. It's like, what is going on here? I didn't expect this. I wasn't thinking really about anything, you know, and I don't even remember. I mean, this was like over 22 or 23 years ago. So I don't remember if I was experiencing emotions at the time, but I'm quite sure I was, because I was just totally crying out of nowhere. And I'm going, Don, you know, I didn't know what was going on. It was just, but it was a very powerful experience for me. And I thought, wow, this is something else. This is something like, this is a whole other level of body work and healing work. And that's what got me hooked.
Yeah, nice. And then at one stage you decided you're gonna go and teach body harmony too.
Yeah, well, I went to my first international event in Playa del Carmen in Mexico. And I just, at the time, I really, you know, I thought, well, I love to travel and I want to experience a whole intense week of body harmony, or week and a half. I think it was like 2 weeks when we first started. It was a long time, a lengthy time. And so I went there, and it was the opportunity to become a practitioner. And I didn't even sign up for that. I don't even know what is that. So anyway, or as we were getting into it, you know, Don said, you know, you could, you know, if you want, you could, you know, you didn't sign up to be a practitioner. I said, oh yeah, but now I want to. So that's how it started. And then Bali in 2005, I've just kept going to every international and getting sessions with Don once a month or more often. And it was something that I really felt that this was the key. At first I thought cranial sacral. When I found that, I said, well, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
Hmm,
But now I found something even more expansive, and this is what I'm doing.
that's wonderful. Thank you.
Welcome.
Do you have do you have an exercise or something you wanna?
Yeah, most definitely. I would like to explore energy with you. And I'm sure most of you have been in body harmony classes where we play with the energy. So I'd like to do this with a more full-on body experience. And so we'll do some gentle energy movement exercises that are Qigong based. But this will give us a chance to get our energy moving in our body. We're all sitting down, at least for now. I don't know where you've been the rest of the day, and maybe it's still morning in LA, so you people who are in Europe have probably got your energy already going, but let's do this, and at the same time we'll experience our energy moving, and we'll go on from there. So if everybody would stand up and see if you have a space where you could stand, where you have room to move your arms. Okay. So if you would stand with your feet about shoulder width apart, and just slowly with your arms just out in front of you, your palms down, gentle fingers. Start moving your hands like you're flowing through water. And remember to breathe. Sometimes when we concentrate so hard, we forget to breathe. Now you can start turning your body. So you can turn to look to each side as you're moving. And allow your hands to very loosely, like a rag doll, and gently tap beneath your rib cage and let your backhand tap in the kidney area. Just kind of waking up the kidneys, waking up those organs, the stomach, the spleen. Bring your top hand up across your chest, just very gentle pats. And up into your shoulder and neck area, where you're waking your lymph system, getting the lymph flowing. The lymph system doesn't move on its own, so we have to energize it and go back down again across your chest and underneath your rib cage. Keep breathing as you move your hands up again to your chest and up to your shoulder, neck area. And come and stand. You might feel a little tingling. And bring your feet together, maybe about 6 or 8 inches apart, right underneath your pelvis. And notice the difference of when you're standing with your feet apart or when you're standing with your feet underneath your pelvis. Is there a difference? Do you feel differently when you're standing with your feet directly under you as opposed to when you were more in a kind of a V-shaped position? Are you standing straighter this way? Now bounce gently. Gently bounce up and down. This is also awakening the lymph system. Just let your knees bend slightly and jiggle. Let's just let your fingers jiggle, let everything be loose. Let your breath be easy, in and out. Whatever feels good to you, just bounce, 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 bounce. Maybe like you're a little kid on a trampoline, getting really happy, really excited. And see if you smile. Does that change how you're feeling? Try to do it smiling and jiggling. Bounce, 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 bounce. And breathe. Okay, come still. Notice your breath. Notice your fingers. You might feel little tingles. Now imagine there is a string at the top of your head going all the way up into the cosmos. And feel yourself being lifted from your head, standing straight. And feel your arms begin to raise with the energy of the cosmos. Just feel the energy raising up. And then feel the gravity pulling your hands back down. And come still for a moment. And notice your feet, how they are planted on the ground. Notice if your feet, your toes, everything are on the ground. And imagine a column of light coming from the cosmos through the top of your head, going all the way through your body, down through your hips and your legs, grounding you right into the earth, right into nourishing Mother Earth. Feel that light coming through you, growing roots from your feet, from your tailbone, maybe like from the whole core of your body, going down into the ground and to the center of the earth. Feel your core, your roots firmly in the earth and going right down to the core and wrapping around the center so you are held there firmly. And bring up that energy from the earth. Maybe it's a nice white light, maybe it's yellow, green, orange, whatever that nourishing, secure, nurturing Mother Earth energy is. Bring that all the way up through your body. Feel it filling every cell, all the way up through your legs, through your hips, through your torso, chest, shoulders, up through your neck, and out through the top of your head. You are firmly rooted in gravity. And feel that white light from the cosmos, the cosmic energy, the source energy, God energy. Feel that coming down through you, through the top of your head, and mixing with the energy from Mother Earth. And you might feel yourself starting to sway a little. Just like you were bamboo blowing in the wind. You might blow a little to one side, blow to the other side. Blow a little forward, but steady, held by gravity. You are strong but flexible. You might start to go in little circles around. And around the other way. As you breathe, and slowly come center again. And feel your body. Feel the energy in your body now. Let your arms slowly rise up above your head, cupping that energy and bringing it down in front of you and placing it over your belly button. Breathe and feel. Let your hands rise up a little bit, still carrying that energy like a ball. And play with that ball. Maybe your hands can expand a little, go out and in, out a little farther and in. How far can you feel that energy expand? How far can you expand your hands where you're still feeling that energy? Make sure you're breathing. Let your shoulders relax even more. Good, very good. Slowly let your hands come closer together again. Maybe you want to rotate that ball of energy. See what that feels like. While keeping this energy going, if you want, you can sit back down again, or you could stay standing. I'm going to sit. Stand and place your hands on your stomach. Or if you feel like it, you can really place your hands any place that's comfortable, so your shoulders are relaxed, your wrists are relaxed. If other spot is calling to you on your body, like closer to your groin or your thigh, you can also place one hand there or both hands there. I'll stand so you can see me. And breathing very slowly and very gently, a very light touch with your fingers relaxed. See what you can notice in your body. What does that spot you're on feel like to you? Is there a temperature to it? Is it warm? Is it cold? Is it maybe vibrating or tingling? Is it numb? Does it have a direction? Are your tissues moving? What would happen if you went along with the movement of the tissue? If you feel your tissues moving in one direction, is it possible for you to go with that movement? If you don't feel anything, is it possible to give it a little encouragement, just a little gentle, even with intention, a nudge to the side, or up or down? If your hands are in the center of your body or even on your thigh, wherever they might be, what would happen if you gently start moving with the tissue, your hands a little bit apart, and then again back together? Is that better or worse than what you were feeling before? maybe your body wants you to go in the same direction, encouraging a little more movement in one direction. And breathe. Pay attention to your breath, to your quality of relaxation in your body. Are your shoulders still relaxed? Can your wrists and fingers be even more relaxed? Is your body saying something to you, asking for something? Oh, please go a little bit higher, a little more this way. Nice. So begin to let your body know you're going to be removing your hands now. And slowly let them come off the body. And you may still be able to feel the energy there between your hands and your body. And as you remove your hands, the energy may still be there as you slowly come off. Okay, very good. So I hope that was a nice exploration for everybody. And so I think it's a good, I love touching myself anyway, but I'm always like touching my stomach and it feels really good. And I think it gives us really, the more we know our bodies and how touch feels to us, the more we will be in tune with our clients and notice how we're feeling reflects on them. And also we'll be able to be more in tune with their bodies and what they need at the time. So thank you all.
Thank you, Barbara. It was
Any
wonderful.
Thank you. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them now.
Yes, I think it's time for any questions you might have. And as Rocky said, either you use the hand and you talk, or you just type it in the chat box.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Linda?
Yeah, my dear, that was very good, Barbara. I really enjoyed that. Excuse me. When we were standing, and paying attention to my feet, I noticed that the heel of my foot had very little contact with the ground. So my awareness was in my toes and the ball and the front. After we finished, it was like my whole foot was sinking in mud, just so connected with the earth. And it was really nice to, I think I'm so busy out here that I forget the back of my, well, what's back here a little bit.
Yeah, that's a very good awareness and a good exploration that you were able to see the difference afterwards. And we do forget. I mean, we're so busy with the world and Zooms and everything we're doing, we really forget to pay attention to what our bodies are doing until, you know, unfortunately, sometimes they let us know in a not so pleasant way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Qigong, as some of you know, is also my favorite exercise, which I practice daily, on daily basis, and so nice to participate when somebody else leads it. For me, that is also a way to just be connected to everything that is, and nature, because I also live in nature, and to do this very small awareness exercises is so connected to body harmony. And I think also that if all people would do that, then they would most probably start to understand what life is about, because it's about this connection with everything that is. So thank you very much. Beautiful. Yeah, one of my grandchildren comes.
How sweet. Attracted to the energy, maybe.
Can sit there.
Hello. Hi. Nice to see you.
Ska du säga hej? Ska du vinka? Ha? Är du på Zoom?
I want to say something, Barbara. Can you hear me?
Fine.
I want to share something.
Mhm.
It was a really lovely exercise because for me it was like I got very, very solid roots. And I felt the core line very, very sharp, center line from my foot and all the way up. And then when you did the light coming in, it was like two energies, one coming from the earth, one coming from the heaven, and they connected in the center of my body. This was beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, great. Thank you for sharing the experience. I ground myself every day. I have to, because I'm ready to fly off the planet otherwise. And usually on my walk, I find a tree. I mean, I have a favorite tree that has giant roots, and I stand on it and actually hold on to the tree, and really it helps me to ground myself through the tree roots, like really strong underneath the ground. So I think it's a really great practice for all of us to keep grounding ourselves with what's going on in the world and with our lives. It's so easy to want to disconnect, and but we are here on this planet for a reason, and it is good to be solid when we're here, and not to be blown in the wind and affected by everything going around us to such a degree that it impacts our life in a negative way. So I'm just love sharing these grounding practices that are also part of body harmony.
Also, this I found out this word gravity.
Mm-hmm.
When you, for example, go out and you walk and you just say one word like gravity, then you get access to a very high energy and rooted energy. So thank you for the reminder.
Oh, you're welcome. And thank you for saying that too, because again, the power of intention and thought and the power of our words, it can be so simple, as much as you said, like you said, is just say the word gravity and all of a sudden our awareness goes there and we're connected. So thank you for sharing that too, Karen. Roland, hi there.
Oh, hi. Okay. Barbara, I really got a lot out of that exercise also, particularly with the standing up and just feeling all of the energy and all of the weight just melt downwards. It just, like I could just feel it, how heavy it felt, which was quite interesting. It was very, very nice. And I definitely had the tingly fingers afterwards.
Yeah. Oh, good. Good. Yeah. We're really not aware of all of the heavy burdens and energy of everybody else and what we're interacting with during the day, whether it's with the computer or people calling us, or, we kind of leave parts of our energy other places. So And we don't realize, like you said, Rocky, how much it's like weighing down on us until we stop and pay attention and find some way to kind of let it go. Yeah. It's
It always
important.
brings you back, like your body keeps calling for something, and people have a tendency to just ignore it,
Yeah.
and until it builds up. So it's kind of nice to be able to take the time out and just really see that and get it before it escalates into anything bigger. So it's nice.
To allow ourselves, to give ourselves permission to take a little time for ourselves rather than putting our energy out there all the time. So, you deserve it. We deserve it,
Yeah.
Give yourself permission to take that time for yourself, because it's like putting like when you're on a flight, you put your oxygen mask on first before you attend to anybody else. So it's like put your oxygen mask on first.
Tired of
Care
those.
of yourself, right? Self-care is really important for healers, and you are all healers. We are all healers, so we must take care of ourselves first.
Smart, yes. I like it because my body couldn't do the exercise, but when I closed my eyes, I was like a little girl, like you said, with my arms going on one side, the other side, and that it was light and profound and grounding and amusing.
Right.
That's important for me.
That's a wonderful example too of the power of intention and what intention can create. So thank you for sharing that, Mont. Yeah. So if there are no other questions, I guess.
Well, Barbara, let me say something about following the tissue. I really like that guided part where you're really asking the questions. What does this feel like? Is there movement? Could it move more? It's really like having a conversation with yourself and the tissue, so that you do listen to what do I feel? You take that moment and what does that feel like? So I really enjoyed that. I appreciated that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Linda. Thanks. Yeah, well said.
It was very nice, as Linda said, that you described and asked for the feelings or the sensation one can feel, and how it is different and how it changes, to bring an awareness into really touching and touch, and to know what we can look for. That was very nice.
I can remember Don always talking to the tissues, and you'd be in a really deep state somewhere in your body, and then he'd say, "Thank you." And I didn't say anything, but he always talked to the tissue. He was talking to the tissue and not my head, that tissue talk. And that reminded me of how important that is to have that conversation with your tissues, and wait for the answers. So they talk back. Not your head.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Thank you for reminding us, Linda. That's really important. I talk to my body all the time. I recently, this is kind of embarrassing, but I recently started talking to my breasts, because I was thinking, oh, you're getting older and they're not so lovely anymore. But then I'm going, oh, you're beautiful. You're beautiful. So it's really important. I tell my stomach how good it is all the time when I'm, when I'm thinking about my digestion. I'm thinking, oh yeah, you're doing a good job now. Keep it up. You're doing a good job. So it's like how we can bring body harmony into our lives. We don't have to save it for having a session with a practitioner.
Exactly.
It's everything. It's a way of life, really. So it's another good example, Linda. So thank you for bringing that up again about how we can, bring it into our everyday lives.
Yeah.
I didn't finish because Maya was coming here. But what I wanted to add also is that if all the politicians that need to change in order to starting to take care of Mother Earth, and they need to start with themselves. And if they would just do some practice like this to get to know themselves, because in that knowing oneself, then they will also open up for the connection to Mother Earth and nature, and then they would start to take more responsibility for all this environmental catastrophe that is happening right now on Mother Earth. So, I mean, this is like the first step really to get to know yourself. If you don't know yourself, how can you know nature or Mother Earth? It always must start with yourself. So it's so important to have these very, very deep, they are looking small outside, but they are actually very big exercises inside. So I don't know how to get them into the White House and everywhere else. That would be great to have some body harmony practitioner coming and starting to do this with all the politicians in the world that need to change in order for humankind to survive on this planet. That's how I see it.
Yeah,
we need to start with ourselves always.
I think it has to start closer to home than the White House. That would be good, but who's all the other people in the White House? You know, all of your local government.
Go into political conversations. Keep this with body harmony.
Yeah. Well, I want to add one thing without really getting political, but more expansive. What we can do, because we can't single-handedly go out by ourselves and completely change the world, and like we had a magic wand. Okay, everybody is honoring the earth, everybody is thinking and caring about other people, but what we can do, we do it for ourselves, and then we could send that light out. We could do it for them. If they are not grounded, we could imagine all the political leaders in all the world being grounded. We could imagine them having the light. We can use our power of intention to first ground ourselves and fill ourselves with light and send it out to them. So that's what we can do. We can do that individually. Maybe it's not a big sweeping movement. We can't be the ruler of a country, but we do have a lot of power. And I think it's important for all of us to realize we do have that power and not to give it away, not to let it be taken from us. We do what we can do. We can empower and bolden our light and let it spread. So we can do that.
I agree. I agree with you.
Yeah. I will quit now because this small princess needs to go to bed. So thank you very much for tonight.
Thank you all for being here. It was lovely to see you all and to share this time with you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara.
Have a good sleep.
Wait a second, we're not done yet. I just want to thank everybody for being here. And I want to say for next week, we are going to have Malu. You are speaking next week, correct? Yes. And who is interviewing you? Oh, Linda is interviewing you.
Yeah.
Malu, would you like to tell us what you will be talking with us about next week?
Well, I will, just like everybody else, talk about my journey in body harmony in my life, how I have been influenced from body harmony in my life, and how that has led me in different areas. So I think that's the most important thing. It's about 30 years of body harmony.
Beautiful.
Wonderful. I can't wait to hear it.
So that will be very good. And I hope I will have a better voice next week.
You will.
So I'm looking forward. So nice to meet you again. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Next week. Thank you so much.
Bye, Ian.
Bye, Linda.
Bye, Ian.
Hey, dog.